The only thing more powerful than the unstoppable Exodia is the power of the Konami Forbidden and Limited list. It can take your top tier deck and crush it to dust as they remove all of your most important boss monsters and engine pieces. I've just finished collecting every single banned card in Yu-Gi-Oh! You may ask, why do we have to ban cards? I see many a comment where people think that ban lists are stupid and that Konami should just let everybody play everything. Now, while it would be fun for us all to play Pot of Greed, there are lots of cards that Konami probably shouldn't have printed in the first place. Nobody enjoys losing 2 cards out of their hand on the first turn with Delinquent Duo. And with the amount of banishing, it probably is broken for something like Dimension Fusion to exist, allowing everybody to get as many cards as they want back from the banished to the field. It's just a little bit unbalanced. With a shiny new ban list, I finally completed my collection again, although I have said that a fair few times. You see Konami unban cards and ban cards semi-regularly about 3 or 4 times a year. The latest list added 3 new prisoners to my book of the band: Linkaribo, Baron de Fleur, and Borrowload Savage Dragon for the crime of being far too good in far too many decks, especially the top tier stuff like Snake Eyes. They don't just ban cards every list, they release cards too, so I have to shift even more around. Whether they go on to commit more war crimes remains to be seen. You may be wondering why bother to collect banned cards. As I've been playing since I was about 6 or 7, I've got a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and over the years stuff does get banned. You're always going to have a couple of copies of Pot of Greed lying around, some Heavy Storms, so I'd already started collecting a big pile into a folder of all the banned cards I couldn't play anymore. And as I've started to play more Yu-Gi-Oh on a competitive level, I play good decks, and those good decks get hit by good ban lists. So I've just developed a big pile of ban cards anyway, and I thought, why not finish the job? And after I finished the hero collection and the number collection, I thought, this would be a nice little project to pick up. Another benefit is that they are much more affordable than a lot of other collections. You see, the reason that most Yu-Gi-Oh cards are expensive is because people want them. The ban list is cards that you can't use, which means that so many of them that used to be expensive drop down to nothing. Look at Baron de Fleur. At one point she was nearly £100, then she got reprints down to like 20, 15, and now that she's banned, you can get them for less than £1. This also has the inverse effect. When cards get unbanned and released from their chains, they go all the way to the moon on pricing. I remember when I got Ptolemaeus for my collection. When this card was unbanned, it went from a £5 card that I picked up the week before to a £33 card on the day of the unbanning. While obviously a lot of this is hype price spiking, it still exists, so if you want to get rid of some banned cards, day of the ban list is a good day to do it. Without rotation, Yu-Gi-Oh needs the ban list. I like playing Pokemon and Digimon and other card games, and the ban list system I think is one of the most interesting things about Yu-Gi-Oh. It means that we can have ridiculously powerful cards because eventually they're going to be got rid of, aside from Max C if you live in Japan. But who knows, maybe that new, weaker Max C is a sign of things to come. How much does it cost to collect your own copy of the ban list from scratch? Now obviously I wasn't doing this from scratch because I had a lot of this just from playing the game for a long time, but if you were to put all of the cards I've got in my collection, in my particular prints in my collection, into a collector tracker like Collector, it's valued about £218. Now obviously this goes up and down. I think you'll see that most of the expensive cards are stuff that you need for other formats. As I talked about last week, Time Wizard is growing more popular than ever, and the benefit of Time Wizard is that you get to play the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are long banned. This means that if you want to play with physical cards, you're going to have to go and find some banned cards that haven't been printed for a very long time. Now, cards like Heavy Storm were printed out the wazoo. It seemed like every single structure deck going had a little copy of Heavy Storm or Pot of Greed in the very early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! However, things like Delinquent Duo and Dimension Fusion didn't have that many prints before they were banned, and because they've been banned for so long, they really don't have many prints at all. This leads to those cards being some of the most expensive, around 15-ish quid for Delinquent Duo and 15-ish quid for my copy of Dimension Fusion, but it goes way, way up if you have first ed of the originals. Delinquent Duo obviously is very playable in GOAT, and things like Dimension Fusion and Royal Oppression are playable in Edison alongside Trap Does Shoot. I actually started my collection back in 2022, and if you go to TikTok you can actually see my entire playlist of me collecting these cards as I travelled around the country going to card shops and putting it together. I also explained why every card was banned as well. In terms of my relationship to the ban list, you obviously know I'm positive about it, but just thinking back on funny stories with it, I think the most time I've been annoyed by a ban list is when I bought all of the Zodiac cards ready for playing in Zodiac Tri Brigade. Most of the good cards in Zodiac were already limited to 1 on the ban list, so my thought was, well, they won't hit it anymore, everything's already limited. And I think the day I pressed buy on all of the cards was the day the ban list dropped, and everything that I needed got banned. So that was kind of annoying. But the biggest win, probably, of the ban list, by collecting these banned cards, I've collected some very nice cards that probably got a bit more expensive. I've got myself a playset of Max C, just in case we ever do get that one world unified format, because I imagine if we do have to get Max C back, it will go up, although that new weaker Max C that I mentioned earlier does make me think that's slightly less likely. Also, my ultimate rare Ancient Fairy Dragon. I picked this up for a steal back when it was banned, and I think about 2 weeks later was when the ban list happened and Ancient Fairy Dragon got unbanned, so I'm very excited to be using this, especially to search the newly unbanned chicken game. It also does mean that when I go back and play Time Wizard, I already have a lot of the limited staples like Royal Oppression and Trap Dust Shoot ready for Edison, and my Delinquent Duos ready for go. I'm locked and loaded, baby, as long as it has been banned in the past. This is one of the favourite collections I've put together, and it just feels powerful being able to open the ban list, especially when you go to the spells section. You look at it and you go, oh, painful choice, Delinquent Duo, Confiscation. These are just nasty cards. I do not want somebody to cast them on me, and I wouldn't wish them on my worst enemy as well. Interesting observations. I find it really interesting that there are so many link monsters banned here. It really just shows that the removal of the conditions that really kept Fusion, Xyz and Synchro in check, and just making it so much more generic with the Link era, meant so much more was possible in terms of abusing the game. I think the writing is on the wall for a lot of generic extra deck staples, things like Appaloosa of the Goddess Bow. I don't know if she's going to last much longer with her colleagues like Savage Dragon and Baronne de Fleur getting nerfed and gone, although they are much more powerful than her, so maybe she'll survive another day. Maybe some of the weirder cards, like That Grass Looks Greener, could come back and lead to some innovative deck design, but with all those new Lightsworns coming through, I'm not sure that's very likely. Speaking of new Lightsworns, next week marks the new pack Legacy of Destruction, and I am getting very, very excited for it. It's giving archetypes that I love so much new support. Lightsworns, Yubel, Ancient Gear, an entirely new archetype that's almost all common of almost indestructible dragons, and a super shiny revamp of almost all of Little Yugi's boss monsters from the end of original Yu-Gi-Oh! On Thursday and Friday next week, I'll be cracking open so many new boxes of this brand new set, and I'll be giving them away to you for free just by watching. I'll be simultaneously streaming on Whatnot on YouTube next Thursday and Friday. All you have to do is watch the stream over on Whatnot, and you'll be entered in the running to win the packs for free. Also, I'll be selling the rest of the packs really cheap too, so if you want to join, it'd be really nice. If you've never used Whatnot before, if you sign up with my link, you'll get £10 of free credit to spend on whatever you like. You don't have to spend it on me, although I do appreciate if you do. If enough people get interested, I'll throw in a whole mega tin and a dual map for free. The cards I'd like to see most unbanned are all entirely selfish. I want to see Curious unbanned because I want to play him in Lightsworn. I want to see Baron unbanned so I can go back to playing Runic Earthbound. I want a lot of cards that really shouldn't be here anymore. I'd love to see Agido and Kelbeck back so I can abuse them in Tearlament. But alas, it's not good for the whole game. I'm going to be back very soon to talk about the new pack, Legacy of Destruction, and all the things I'm most excited for in it. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, I wish you all a lovely day, and I hope you all have a lovely week. Good luck, and let me know in the comments, what's your favourite banned card? What do you hope comes back soon, and what cards do you hope never come back again? I'm personally hoping the Topologic Gunblood Dragon never sees the light of day, although I know who knows with modern power creep, who knows what could come back. Fiber Jar probably should get unbanned. It's not even that good, but it's just annoying. Either way, I hope you all have a lovely weekend and a lovely week, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.